Hello and welcome to the Hippo CMMS product demo. My name is Kalechi. I'm a senior software specialist here at Hippo, and I'll be taking you through a quick tour of some of the main features on the platform. Now, Hippo is a software that's used at over 1,300 companies from a variety of industries. And what we focus on is making CMMS a more user-friendly experience. So we provide not only a user-friendly platform, but also support that goes with it as well to make sure that all of our customers are successful with using CMMS long-term in their businesses. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be looking at some of the key features in Hippo and going over them at a high level. And if there's more that you'd like to see, feel free to get in contact with one of our representatives and they can take you through a personal demo of the software. So let me bring up my screen so we can see the software in action. And I'll touch on just a little bit of the user interface and the layout of the system before we go into some of those features. Starting off, we have what's called our dashboard, which is essentially the middle of your screen here when you sign into the system. And your dashboard brings you to your enterprise screen, which is essentially your homepage. And with Hippo, we wanted to give different options on how to navigate the system. So your dashboard actually has up to 4 different dashboard views. And you can use this for navigating through your work orders in the view that works best for you. Our standard dashboard, as you can see, puts everything in a list view. So this makes it easy for searching and filtering to the correct facility, and then going into the work orders that are applied to that facility, where you can search further and filter to the appropriate ones. You can also change this into a calendar dashboard if you prefer that perspective. So this gives you a simple calendar view that also comes with filters and search options at the top of your screen. This also makes it easy for managing your scheduling, as with the calendar dashboard, you can simply drag and drop work orders to different dates to make it easier to move things where they need to be. Now we also have a KPI dashboard, and this goes more into some of the reporting, which we'll cover a little bit later in the software. But essentially here you can get a snapshot view of whatever time frame you've selected, and this will show you the results that fit that time frame to give you an idea of the performance on work orders and information related to those work orders. And the last dashboard view is actually what we call the advanced dashboard view in Hippo. Now with the advanced dashboard view, this actually allows you to navigate your CMMS program from more of a visual perspective using actual interactive floor plans in your system. Simply click into the facility that you want to from your dashboard, and you'll see that this brings you to a facility screen. And from your facility screen, you now have access to your work orders on the right-hand tab. And on your dashboard, you can actually click into different floor plans that are in your system and use interactive floor plans to actually see where work orders are located. So not only do you have your open work orders in your system, you also can relay them to a visual layout of your facility to see where work orders are taking place. So from any of the different dashboard views that you select, you can use this to open up a work order form from your dashboard. And this can be used to make updates to work orders or mark work orders as completed once the work is finished. You can also use this for viewing related information on work orders, like the equipment that was associated. And this will actually pull up other details in your system that you've added about that particular asset or equipment as well. Now, going into submitting work orders, you'll actually see on the left-hand side is your main menu. And this can have different options for you in terms of how work orders can be selected and entered into the system. You'll have the option to submit work order, which gives you a brand new work order form and adds it directly to your dashboard. However, you also have the option to enable what's called submit request, for anyone that you want to be able to submit a request into Hippo and not have it go directly to the dashboard, but instead go into a pending work order request queue. So this allows there to be an extra step for those that want to submit requests for work orders, allowing other users to review those requests and approve and reject them as needed. So the submit request, as you can see, is a much more condensed form to fill out. The nice thing is that we can also set up logins called requesters that only have this sole function, and it makes it easier for them. So let's say, for example, we were to log in as a requester. I'll bring up a new window for us to do just that. We use our requester credentials, and as soon as we log in, Hippo recognizes that this is the login for a requester, and it simply redirects them to that same work order request form. So you'll notice that there's no dashboard view, there's no menu or options on either side of the screen. The requester login solely allows access to this work order request portal, and that's the extent of their use of the system. So let's say Hank Hippo here has a request. He puts in his email, so he can also get updates. The request is then associated to the appropriate facility. And as you can see, requests can be selected for a location in the facility, as well as equipment or vehicle at that facility as well. Once the asset is selected, the requester can simply type in the description what's happened. There's also an option to attach a file to work order requests. So the user can also include additional information like files or images, which can also be reviewed as you go through your work order requests in the system. So as soon as the work order request is submitted, they'll see that their request was created successfully. And this will allow other users who do have access into the software to review requests as they're coming into Hippo. So now going into our work order requests, we can decide to look into the work order request tab on the left-hand side of the menu. This now brings us into our pending work order requests, and we can see which ones have been submitted by requesters, what they've asked for, and we can decide whether or not they are going to be approved or rejected. So to approve or reject requests, we'll simply use the two options on the first column here. To reject a work order request, we'll simply hit the red X button, and you'll see that this brings up a reason message field. You can type in the reason why the request was rejected, and this will go back to the corresponding email that was on that request form. So this can be used if there are instances of requests for the duplicate issue or certain requests that have been submitted for an existing work order in our dashboard. To approve a work order request, we can simply use the green checkbox. And you'll notice that this now brings us into a submit work order form, which we can then add to the dashboard. By approving a work order request, you'll notice that the submit work order form now has certain information already selected, like the appropriate asset or equipment, the description that the requester gave, and also their information at the bottom. We can also use this work order form to associate to a resource. This would be another user in the Hippo system that is responsible for completing the work orders. So we can use this to assign it directly to them. And this can also be used as a way to track time associated to work orders. So the only step that's required when we go to approve this work order request and turn it into a work order is just by giving it a work order name. Now that we've submitted this work order, you'll see that the work order request is no longer pending approval. It has now been approved, and we now have a new work order on our dashboard. Now, going into this new work order, we can actually go into updating this work order not only from our desktop, but also from mobile devices as well. So Hippo is a completely web-based platform, and this means that we can also log into Hippo from tablets or smartphones. So we can use this as a way when we're on the go, or for technicians that we've assigned these work orders to view their work orders and make updates remotely. So we now have this new work order for fixing the equipment. We then can open this work order and mark it as completed once we're finished. We can also set certain fields as required before work is completed. This way we're not missing certain information. So in this instance, we can see that time is required to be entered. So we'll do that in the resources section. As we go to the resources section, this shows us the resource that was associated to this work order, and they'll be able to add in their time dedicated to that work order. Now that our time has been saved, we now can actually save this as a completed work order, and this will be saved in your completed work order records. You can then search for this later or run reports in your system to view the history from your system and get detailed information on the work order completion in Hippo. Now for preventative maintenance, what you saw for your demand work orders will be very similar to your preventative maintenance work orders. You'll actually see on your dashboard that we have some that are listed as demand and others that are listed as PM for preventative maintenance. So for preventative maintenance work orders, you'll actually have a section in your facility admin tools called scheduled work orders. This is what you'll be using to have PM work orders be set up on your dashboard and appear on the appropriate dates or frequencies based off of when they need to be created and completed. As we go into scheduled work orders, we can see our existing list of schedules for preventative maintenance. You'll see that some here are based off of calendars. Others are actually based off of meter readings. So scheduled work orders has the same fields of information that the submit work order does, but you'll notice that there's also a schedule column that determines when these work orders get created. If you wish to add a new schedule, simply use the plus sign in the top right corner to add a new schedule, and this can either be done from scratch or by using an existing template in your system. You can actually create your own work templates, and this can be used to streamline the creation of preventative maintenance schedules in Hippo. To view more on scheduled work orders or to view how scheduled work orders can be created for meter-based equipment, you can also speak to a Hippo representative to learn more. With your equipment and parts, you'll also see that those are also sections in the facility admin portion of the Hippo system. For viewing equipment, we can go straight to equipment under facility admin. This then goes into our existing equipment list for our facility. We can also use this for pulling up equipment information, just like we did off of the work order form. So this can be used to search and also pull up equipment details straight from the Hippo system. You also have your option with the Hippo mobile to use barcoding on your equipment as well. This can also help to shortcut any searching of equipment from mobile devices or tablets. By simply using the main menu, you'll see that this gives you a scan code option near the bottom of your menu. Simply select this and hit scan barcode to use the camera on your phone or device, and hover it above the scan code on your equipment. Once the barcode has been found, it will show you any associated equipment to that in your system and bring you to the detail screen, including the option to submit a work order. Now, as for parts, we can also go into our spare parts list just a little bit further down the facility admin portion of Hippo. This can be used to view our existing parts in the system for our facility. We can also use this for updating part information. We can also store related details on parts, like storage locations, and also the supplier that it comes from. We also are able to set different rules in terms of min-max quantities. This can also be used for us to receive notifications when certain parts are running low and we need to reorder. In those instances that we need to reorder, we also do have a purchase order module in Hippo. So by using submit purchase order, we can use this to add a purchase order into the system related to different parts that we need restocked in our system. We can even relay this to a work order from our dashboard, should it be related to something specific we need to repair or complete. To find the desired parts, simply search through your parts type in Hippo, and then select the appropriate part that needs to be reordered. Once you've added all of your line items, simply hit submit at the bottom for approval. So like your work order requests, this will also go into a purchase orders list for those that are pending approval. We can review the ones that are currently pending approval, decide to approve or reject, or preview them before we make a decision. Once the purchase order has been viewed and the appropriate user has decided to approve them, we can simply update that status and save in Hippo. We can also view the approved purchase orders, and once the approved purchase orders have had the parts received, we can also update this to a received status. This can be used to update the quantity on hand that's in the Hippo software. So by saving this purchase order, Hippo will also notify the user that their quantity on hand for this part will automatically be updated to the new appropriate amount. As for reporting, we do also have the ability to generate reports in Hippo. This can be done either at the enterprise level, should you want to report on various facilities at once, or we can do individual reports per facility. By simply going into the Reports tab on your main menu, this will go into a few different options that you can choose here. We have current work orders for those work orders that are still open on your dashboard, maintenance history for your completed work orders, as well as inventory reports and depreciation reports. So simply pick the tab that would apply to the report that you want to run, and you'll see that this goes into a section where you can set the conditions and filters for what report you need in the system. You'll also notice at the top of your screen that there's a section for any saved reports that you've already made earlier in Hippo. You can create your own saved reports for essentially a go-to list of reports that you'll know that you'll need. Simply click View to run that report once you need it, or you can create your own schedule and set up scheduled reports that get emailed straight to your inbox or to the inbox of other people in your organization. In this facility, we'll look at a maintenance history report. And we'll look at a maintenance history report specifically for 2019. So we can select the time frame desired here in our report section. We also can add other conditions if we want to run reports on specific equipment, work orders completed by certain resources in our team, different work categories, and so on. So based off of the filters and conditions you've set, Hippo will look for a report and present it to you based off of that criteria. We also can choose to add graphs to our reporting as well. So this can also give us visuals to go with the report. So by running this report here, we get a new window that will present us the reporting information based off of the criteria that we've selected. In this case, we're looking at everything from 2019. So it shows us our completed work orders, how many were demand work orders, how much of them were preventative maintenance. You also have the ability to record costing on work orders. This gives you the ability to look at your accumulated expenses. This includes things like invoice information, parts used on work orders, also labor tracking for the time that was spent on work orders. We can further review this information. You also can pick and choose different metrics to display in your graphs. This can help you with finding certain trends in the reporting. Going into the rest of the report, we can view the work orders in this history report, and each table you'll see has different save options. So any information that you report on in Hippo can be saved or extracted or printed from the reporting page. So for any reports that you need on a regular basis, simply add them as a save report, and these can be emailed to you on a regular basis. Or you can come into Hippo and simply download them in the preferred format in the top right corner. To go with the access to Hippo, we also wanted to make sure that users had the appropriate support from our team as well. You'll notice in the top right corner, we have a support icon. To speak to someone directly from our Hippo team, you can select this to open up a new conversation window and send direct messages to our customer success team. This includes advisors, as well as onboarding specialists, and also Hippo trainers. They can give you the information that you need and also send you links to resources that we also have. This includes the support and feedback section, which has what's called a help center. You can also explore the help center should you want to look more into using the Hippo system for things like training for new staff, help videos, how-to tutorials, as well as other information related to best practices or integrations of the software. We also have more information on our website related to any information that you need on pricing, as well as onboarding. You can simply go to hippocmms.com, where we have our pricing page available. This will give you more information on some of the different packages that we offer, and also some of the different onboarding services that we provide for getting started. So on our homepage, simply go to the pricing tab and go into packages. This will bring you into the 3 packages that we have available: Hippo Starter, Hippo Plus, and Hippo Pro, as well as the features that are included in those packages. Further down the screen, you'll also be able to look into the different onboarding packages that we have to go with these different packages. You also can go into support and look at our onboarding tab to learn more on the different options for onboarding to make sure that you're starting with your CMMS on the right foot. So that is all for this product demonstration. For any more information or to get your questions answered, I highly recommend speaking to a Hippo representative to learn more about Hippo CMMS and make sure that it's the right fit for your organization. I appreciate your time here today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.